I teach you about classes. All you have to do is drive down for the man will say, you think you can undertake and go in a line. You know easy?
The man, him wind down him window and give me the blind now. Wind down the window and give me the blind now. Wind down the window and give me the blind.
You know why you the siren? You respect siren.
Him wind down the window and give me the blind, so I'm going to have to fix up. Officer, you don't need for you tell me about my mother and them something there. You don't need for you tell me about my mother. Me I do you the respect, you tell me about my mother. You tell me about my mother and all them things there.
Me tell you already, Mr.
You tell me about my mother. As a big police officer, you tell me go suck my mother.
Welcome to True Jamaica Buzz, news and entertainment with a buzz. This one is called Temper, lack of professionalism. This is based on a video that has been making its round all over social media, in which, based on what the officer is saying, that motorist overtake maybe a line of traffic. Based on what the motorist is saying, he got a blare from one of the other motorists. It seems as if the popo tried to pull him over, alerted him with the siren, but he did not stop. Obviously, eventually he would have stopped, and that is when he was issued a couple of tickets. Well, people, here are the rules and laws of being a motorist on the road. If you violate the road codes, you are supposed to get a ticket, a citation, whatever they call it. What you're not supposed to get is the amount of lippings that this officer was giving him. Based on the fact that it is not only disrespectful, the worst thing you can do to any sorts of Jamaican is call them chichiman, or even tell them, send them up under their mother. And this is exactly what this officer was accused of doing, based on what we saw on the video evidence. Now, people, here's the thing. I don't know the circumstances as to why this officer was so ticked off. Maybe he flicked on the siren, and maybe he thought that that man heard the siren, saw the siren, and was ignoring him totally. So maybe he had to chase down this man, and he thought that, listen, this man was endangering the lives of other motorists and also the officer. Now, people, here's the thing. Sometimes it seems as if these officers are given baskets to carry water. I understand that it is a rough job because you have a whole bunch of disrespectful motorists, taximan, minibusman. Because let's face it, the average Jamaican is very disrespectful, reckless, and don't understand the rules and laws. We've seen many instances in which they are chasing, running from the popo, and them cause major accident, cause other persons to lose their life. But at the end of the day, as an officer, you have to be the bigger person. You have to be the professional. So when we see stuff like this, maybe the circumstance ticked him off. He should not be. Maybe he is frustrated. Maybe he has all sorts of personal issues that he has to deal with. It is bad when we have people like this out there representing the JSF and dealing with the public. These people are supposed to be at best, be behind some sorts of desks, should be taking our frontline duty, should be given some sorts of therapy, some sorts of session to make sure that they are able and willing to deal with the public, because this could have escalated in which somebody could have gotten badly hurt from the chase and also badly hurt with this interaction. There is no sorts of justification for this officer to be dealing with this motorist, none at all, point blank and period. So the next thing that is popping in the news, this is the reason why two worthless parents should not come together and have kids. I am speaking about a lady that is called Chin and a man that is called Winters, shown on the screen as I speak. I am speaking about a place that is called Orange Hill that is in Brownstown. Brownstown is in the parish of St. Anne. Based on the information, it is said that a couple of days ago, this man Winters, that is supposed to be the father of a 5-year-old child, he called, summons his neighbor, claiming that his son fell off the bed, and asked that neighbor to drop them to the nearby hospital. When he went to the hospital, the doctor observed that child, the doctor noticed that what the father was saying was not correct. Based on the inspection, there was some sorts of black and blue marks under the child's ribs and the child's back, as if the child was bitten, as if there was some sorts of clotting of that child all over the body. The doctor did its civic duty and called the popo. When the popo came on the scene, Mr. Winters, he was arrested. He was charged for the takeaway of his child. As a matter of fact, when the doctor called the popo, Mr. Winters tried to take for himself. However, that same neighbor that brought him in held on to him, make sure that the popo came and arrested him and take him into custody. Based on what he told the popo, his confession is that the child actually did not fall off the bed. That child broke two plates and he got upset and him started to clot at the little picnic. And that is how the child died from all sorts of clottings to the body. Now, people, here's the thing. The mother of this child, known as Chin in the streets, she has about 5 different children. Of those 5 children, all of them are living with the fathers. She only stays with one of that child, and because that child's father, is some sort of scammer, he might chop the line. So therefore, because she can have the money, then she sticks and stay. However, the other children that she have, she just leaves them with the fathers, like when post give them post picnic. Now, people, here's the thing, like I said. This lady, obviously, Chin, not fit to be a mother. This man, Winters, definitely not fit to be a father. Maybe he is frustrated that that mother left like she has left all of her other children. However, there is no sort of justification. Like I said, the moral of the story in this part of the video is that 2 worthless parents should never come together and have any sort of child. It is going to be detrimental to the child health, wealth, and well-being. And obviously, we saw exactly what happened in this case, point blank and period. So the next thing that is popping in the news, it seems as if the black eye, the controversy as it pertains to the JSF, it continues with all sorts of allegations, accusations of extra judicial takeaway of young men from mostly Garrison. I am speaking about an incident that took place at the intersection of Belmont and Windward Road, where it is alleged that officers on patrol in the area came upon a group of men, at least 4 or so. There was some sorts of interaction and there was some sorts of shootout based on what the popo said. After the smoke cleared, these 3 young men were taken out, rushed to the hospital. However, too late was the call. Now, when this incident happened, people are saying, well, good thing, happy riddance, these criminal elements are like a plague in a Jamaica upon the streets. However, people, it seems as if the account of the officers was not 100% proof. Based on what they said, the men wheel and pop off on them, they wheel and pop off, and then the men got the SHITTY end of the stick. Well, people, based on the video evidence that was gathered by Indecom, it is seen where at least 1 or 2 of these men were on their knees begging for their life. So therefore, that told you it was not any sorts of shootout. Again, there was no sorts of body camera that was being worn by any of these officers that could have said, yes, they came under fire, rate, lele, blue, blah, blah. Now, people, it seems as if these officers, based on their actions, Indecom recommended to the Popo hierarchy, the file was sent to the DPP, and the DPP ruled that they should be charged, and they were officially charged. Based on the information, it is said that Corporal Mark Rowe and Constable Kelby White have been officially charged for the following offenses: murder, 3 count, using a firearm in commission of a felony, discharging a firearm 40 yards of a public thoroughfare, placing an item at the scene of a crime, and willfully lying to the police commissioner. These charges are related to that incident, like I said, at about 2 a.m. in the morning, early Saturday morning, Friday going on to Saturday morning, 2 a.m. Now, people, since then, the JSF is doing some sorts of damage control and they're trying to say that these men are criminal elements. I want you to take a listen, take a look at exactly what the JSF has to say as it pertains to that, and then I'll give my piece.
According to police sources, one of the men, 19-year-old Keyshawn Smith, otherwise called Bimmers, is the alleged leader of the Anderson Road Track Gang. It's further understood that he's known to recruit teens from the East Kingston area to engage in criminal activities. He'd been in police custody since May this year for the alleged murder of a taxi operator in February. Smith was, however, released on bail in September. The police source revealed that one of the main features of the Anderson Road Track Gang is armed robberies, particularly across East Kingston, Rollington Town, and Doncaster. Gang members are also known to rob drivers of ride-hailing services, but the crimes committed are usually unreported due to victim intimidation. The other deceased, alleged gang member Evander Campbell, is known to post pictures of himself on social media brandishing firearms. 17-year-old Shane Stubbs, otherwise called Mooned, was the third person killed during the operation. It's understood that he frequently used his firearm to intimidate victims. He too was known to post images and videos of brandishing firearms on social media. The police involved in the fatal shooting currently remain in custody. Indecom is investigating.
Now, people, this is my disclaimer. Don't know if what they are saying is facts or not. We understand that these men are officially charged. We understand that there is video evidence, and we understand that the DPP made a ruling. Usually, whenever there's any sort of confrontation with the poor and young men, the police is always going to get the benefit of the doubt. The situation has to be very, very bad when you see officers on any sort of mission or any sort of operation is locked up and charged based on video evidence. Now, people, like I said, people are claiming that these young men are innocent. The popo are saying that they are not, they are gang related, all three of them, and they specified. However, I want you to take a listen, take a look to the statement of one of these officers that is on the screen as I speak. They said that these young men fit the description. However, the officer also said, here it is in black and white. These men are not related to any sort of gang. They have no sort of information. And I say this to say that had these officers known that these men know about their criminal record and went on some sort of mission, they would have had some sort of reason to be in any sort of confrontation, because these are notorious, reputed menaces to society. So therefore, they were a danger to society. So therefore, if the popo defended themselves, we could have understand that. However, when you hear conflicting report from what the police is saying in their report and now what they are saying, we see that something is wrong. So if we are to be reasonable, we see that there's controversy, there's conflict, there's suspicion with what the police is saying now versus what the statement said. When we combine the fact that there is video evidence that was retrieved by indecom from nearby premises with these men begging for their lives, that is not consistent with any sort of shootout, that is consistent with extrajudicial takeaway. When we hear the fact that the poor place evidence being 2 guns on the scene, that was also in the report, that was a part of the charge. Bringing something to the scene of a crime, those are the 2 tools, a Ruger and a next gun, in which they claim that they found. However, these 2 guns were affiliated with cases back as far as 2017. Those guns would have been taken from the police armory or the evidence room. That means somebody gave them access. Somebody was covering up. When we take into consideration that also some of the officers at the station in which they work are presently on suspension. So 2 officers charged, other officers on suspension. People, something just does not sound right. Something smells fishy. Something smells stink. However, I think that the Popo, they are going to be okay based on the fact that they have proper representation, as in the case of Peter Champagne, one of the best lawyers that money can buy. So therefore, you know what is about to happen. Point blank and period. So anyways, people, thanks once again for checking out my video. If you appreciate videos like these, please show your appreciation by liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing to my channel. That is how YouTube promotes videos like these to like-minded, sensible persons like yourself. Bless up.